You go back and watch some of your guys' games on, watch NBA TV, throwback games or whatever, go on YouTube and look at them. Like, you wouldn't even know who you two were on the court, and you just watch, and you guys, the way you stand out in terms of, like, when you get the ball, how fast you can move, get from point A to point B, you know, the decisiveness coming off the screen, and just that chemistry, you could tell, especially when y'all were chasing championships, like, it just pops off the screen, the confidence that y'all had in each other, and like the true chemistry and teamwork, you know, and everybody knew their role. Everybody knew, you know, on a nightly basis when y'all were all locked in, y'all couldn't be messed with. Like, just the appreciation for when y'all are at the height of your powers.
Here's Isaiah. Let's see what we got. All the way up. Go! Has literally carried the team on his back.
Here's what I say about these guys that I like, and you don't always see this now. They never cheat the game.
No. Every night they give a performance.
They give it to you every night.
Yes.
And you don't see that with everybody.
Yes.
And that's the toughest part for me. When I see someone that, like, look, just give it to me every night. And you can go 4 for 18. It doesn't matter.
Keep shooting. Right? The next one going
in. It doesn't matter. As long as you know what I'm saying? But you guys show up every night. And I always say that about them. I say, they don't cheat the game. Every night they go out there, they're trying to get it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're trying to get it every night, I'm cool with that. I am cool with that.
And then they give the fans a show.
Oh, man.
You know,
absolutely.
That's how we felt.
Absolutely.
Like we would come into somebody else's town.
Oh, man.
It's like the stands were full. And you feel like you just got to perform. Right. And most teams don't feel that way.
Right.
When y'all were at y'all's peak, obviously in your runs, late 80s, early 90s, was the road atmosphere. It was always heightened, right? Every night. There was no dead arenas. I think probably around the first championship run in 2015, we started to notice every time it came out, our fans would show up on the road, and even the opposing fans would kind of be looking for that entertainment, that show that we put on. But yeah, and we get everybody's best shot. We still do, and that's what that's the position you love to be in. Like, and everybody circles you on the calendar and whatnot.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, you can't just show up. You gotta bring it, or you can get beat. So it's a good position to be in. We want to keep it going as long as we can.
Does it make y'all mad sometimes though? Like, it's like, hey man, why do you don't play like this against everybody?
Man. We got a rule, like, you know, coaches always probably give you like the stats of the guys, like the last 5 games, like their shooting percentages or how they're playing. You might as well throw all those stats out, because when they show up, you know, a guy could be shooting 13% from 3. He gonna make 5 of them that night just because it's us in the building. But
certain people you play against too, that's true to it. That's what I would do when we get ready to play Chicago.
Right.
Well, you know, Joe, the last 5 games he did, I said, that has nothing to do with what's going to happen tomorrow night. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a pattern. You know, he just did that. Like, you know, so some things you just got to throw out the window.
But sometimes
I get it.
Sometimes we would hear his last 5 games, and I'd be like, Chuck, we don't know.
Yeah.
The last 5 games, he had 50, 60. Hey, Chuck, we don't need to know that.
I get it.
How long did it take you two to really get the chemistry right? Like, to know where Joe wanted the ball, where Isaiah was said he wanted.
Little things you pick up. I've been wanting to ask you guys this for a while. Little things you pick up playing with someone else that you don't have to say anything. It can be a look. We had plays where I'm on the baseline and I'm getting a pin down and I'm getting ready to come off. And if I saw the guy overplaying me, I would look at him up top. He's at the top of the key, and I would just look at him. And he knew, okay, he's gonna go back door. He's gonna set this guy up.
And throw it back to me. So, I mean, really, as soon as I throw it to him, it was like, I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Hey, run that play. Let's start over. Right?
Absolutely.
Man.
It's good stuff.
What happened. We trying to move on, just trying to play basketball.
How do you navigate in the locker room and have conflict resolution? Because, you know, the big thing now is, you know, okay, Draymond and Durant got into an argument at the end of the game. Literally. Every day, every game, that was us. Not just that one moment. That was every single day. And for us, you know, we had Rodman, sometimes Lambeer, who really brought that type of intensity, energy, passion.
You know what I call it? Constructive conflict.
Yeah.
It's constructive.
Yeah.
And it's conflict.
How do y'all handle that, you know, dealing with the outside media and then in your locker room?
To be honest, as long as every teammate can look each other in the eye and know where you're coming from and know kind of what's on your mind, we'll be fine. There's just so much, you know, noise and nonsense, which it's good for the entertainment of the league, but in terms of us just staying true about what we're trying to do, it happens inside the locker room. It happens on a daily, and it comes from experience and a history of knowing, each other. We know each other's personalities. We know where we're coming from, and we just got to maintain that as best we can. There's certain patterns you see that teams try to figure us out and make us think a little.
Different teams or everybody?
Everybody.
Here's a fight right there. Lambier and Jordan. Yes, indeed. There are punches thrown.
Like some games are a little bit more physical than others in terms of literally just the rules and how the game is allowed to be played. Part of me just wants to get thrown into that just to see how you respond, because it's like you see it, but you don't know how you.
Y'all be all right.
I always say that.
Y'all will be all right. We feel like our time we'd be able to figure it out.
Exactly.
Thrown back in that.
You be all right.
You absolutely.
Yeah, it is. So we can shut that all that talk down.
You be all right.
There's actually a funny clip that we'd always bring up to my dad, me and my brothers, of when he came down with the offensive board and you guys were losing to him and you hit him on the back of the head a couple times and he just walked away. He didn't even do anything.
Thompson with the rebound. And Isaiah commits the foul.
I was hoping you weren't going to mention that.
Stand up for yourself. He's like, nah, I didn't feel nothing. I was
hoping you wasn't going to mention that.
We gave him flack for that since we were like 12 years old. Like, hey, Dad, just not going to stand up for something? I was like, nah, I didn't feel nothing. It felt like a massage. I was okay.
That's funny.
Hey, man, as you can see, a lot of times I lost my mind.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm fortunate that the big guys during that period of time, now that I see them now, I'm glad they looked at me with compassion and just looked at me like, man, what's wrong with you? Because really they just could have been like, boom, and my life would have been over.
What are you facing on a nightly basis?
We were talking about it today. It's actually from year to year since we started winning the championship. There's certain patterns you see that teams try to figure us out and make us think a little bit.
Different teams or everybody?
Everybody.
Oh, okay.
You talk about the make or miss league. It's a copycat league too, in terms of you see film of something working for one game, everybody wants to copy it and try it.
Right.
Obviously, you have different rosters and lineups that you can work with, but. From 15, we had a certain defense that they would try to trap me, but we'd have Draymond in the middle, and he'd be able to look for shooters, and we'd have play running off the pin downs and stuff like that. Last year was different with KD on our team and how teams defended us, and even this year, it just changes from year to year, and it takes a while to see it clearly, the picture kind of form, but again, putting the ball in the basket, that's what we know how to do, and we figure it out.
Well, how y'all think we would do in y'all era?
As I said, y'all would be just fine. How you can just slice up the defense, get wherever you want to go. Obviously, you got touch, you can shoot, you can get to the basket, you can finish with the best of them.
Yeah.
You'd be able to take most guards to the post, to the block, do your thing. Obviously, knock down the jumper with the spacing on the floor. I don't think I need to tell y'all that.
I look at the two different eras, and then I try to look at different players, right? Just as you do. And I think from a guard playing standpoint, all of us would be okay in whatever era we played in. I think the bigs, some bigs wouldn't be able to play in y'all era. They just, we're talking about Hall of Fame players, in this positionless league, right? How would they play? What would they do?
Yeah, no, it would definitely be different. I think for you and I, there are a lot of nights that if he starts off hot, he would say to me, I need you to slide to the one. I'm cooking. So I'd go to the one. I'd run the point, and he's coming off, and I'm just running stuff for him.
If I could have came off and caught it, and then looked under the basket, and wasn't nobody in the lane. It's like every time we came off and caught it, you look down there, it's 6 people, But if I'd have came off and caught it and ain't nobody down there, I'd have been leading the league in field goal percentage because I may not been shooting 3, but damn, I'm gonna get that layup. The other thing I look at y'all team, and you say y'all watch some of all games. I look at the league now and I say, a lot of the small ball, that's how we play. We were actually criticized a lot for playing the way you guys play because we didn't have a post player. We played high screen and roll, side screen and roll.
Everything was pick and pop.
And Lambier was a 3-point shooting center. And to see you guys playing this way now, It just gives me great pleasure to see that the way we played, we were right. Because there was a time when we were playing and they said a small backcourt like us could never win the championship.
Yeah.
We could never play. You had to have the big guys, so forth and so on. And Laimbeer was heavily criticized, remember, for shooting a three-point shot. You know, and to see y'all doing it at an even higher level.
It's the ultimate respect when you're doing something great and it's different. People are uncomfortable with it. And they're like, all right, we got to find something, trying to poke holes in it and whatnot. Small ball can't win a championship or whatever. For us, it was jump shooting teams can't win a championship. We heard that plenty of times from one person in particular. But in terms of like, just doing it the way that you know how to do it. You work on it. It's not something you just throw out there. You obviously have intentions and perspective of how you're going to be great at it. And you're just comfortable with who you are. And just play. And that's what's been our secret sauce. So I know you heard it too. It's like, all right, bet. Jump shooting team will win this championship.
There's no nights off, and that's draining. And that's why, you know, we're pouring champagne on each other at the end of the season because you know how hard it is to get there. It's such a grind.
And watching LeBron and just seeing what LeBron has done in this era. I know how we felt playing against Jordan. Like, Jordan was the most dominant player in our era. And we would talk for hours on the phone watching him play against another team, you know, just admiring him play. But at the same time, it was like there were things that he did in the air that we just couldn't do. And I look at LeBron James in this era, and I say he's doing things that, you know, y'all just can't do. How do y'all feel about LeBron? And then we can talk about how we felt about Jordan.
I'd say in terms of, you know, one guy being able to change the course of a game the way he can. He controls the pace. He does things that you kind of look like, you know, how did he do that? You know, it doesn't matter sometimes how great a defense you play on him. And sheer strength and power to get to the basket. He's obviously developed that outside game that keeps you honest. It's something that you need all antennas up, all 5 guys every night, and you know if you don't bring it, he's liable to try to expose you. So in terms of, you know, that first championship run, matching up with him, and some of the stuff that he did on a nightly basis, it was spectacular. But you know, at the end of the day, like, that gives you even more kind of competitiveness and fire to, you know, try to figure out how to overcome it and still win. And it gives you a little bit more gratifying feeling when you do too. So.
When we mentioned Jordan, did you notice his body language?
He's still on alert. He's still on alert, like he's sitting in the film room. That is it.
You know, it's the one game that, ironically, this may sound a little bit odd, but it's probably more than any other game. That's the game I look forward to the most. Because you knew that night you had to be at your absolute best. And so if there's something, anything, a matchup or whatever, that's going to bring out the best in you, if you're a true competitor, that's what you really want. And so for me, it was the one game I look forward to more than any other game to play against him, because he was everything that you just described with LeBron. I was listening to you. Yeah. That's about the way it is. Yeah, like any slip up, any lull, any mistake that's made, you're gonna exploit it. You're gonna take advantage of it. So you had to be so keenly locked in, game plan, here's what we're doing, here's where I need to be. And you would be furious if somebody didn't rotate they were supposed to, because you knew, you know, look, I'm trusting that you're gonna be there. And so, because if you're not there, dude's about to do some, you know, he's about to do something, you know, real freaky here. And so, right? He's about to get real freaky here. And I don't need this right now. So I understand exactly what you guys are saying.
We used to go back and talk after you be playing, and you actually think that we've done a good job, and then you look up at the scoreboard.
That's the best way to explain it right
and
there.
And the dude got like 39 or 40, and you're like, damn, like, I thought we was doing all right. Like, and then you get on the bus and you're talking, and I remember saying this to you. I was like, feel like sometimes he treating us like we in high school. You know, because he was that much bigger and just, you know, much more athletic than we were. And, you know, do you feel like a strength difference? Because we talk about it a lot on television when we say, oh, he's so much bigger and stronger. But I don't know what it's like to feel it. Can you like describe?
Oh, you can feel it, especially on the block in transition. You're just in awe of, like, I've never seen such a big human move so lightly on his feet. Like, his steps are small, but they're so quick. You know, it's incredible. I remember one time in the finals, I got the ball on a break, and Andre was behind me, Iguodala, and LeBron was chasing me. He said, "You better dunk it, you better dunk it." So I went up to flush it, and I almost killed myself because I was nervous LeBron was gonna come by and just
He was
swat
yelling
thing
that as you were dribbling it?
Andre was yelling there. He said, "You better dunk it," because he was coming full speed. So I almost, the landing wasn't pretty. So I made sure I flushed that thing because I wasn't trying to see that ball go to half court.
Right.
So that's just kind of the presence he has in the court. You know where he's at all the time. He's great at playing free safety, kind of like Jordan was, and you're just in awe of the things he can do in the air. I mean, like you said, me and Steph could never do these things, no matter how much we work on our vert, how many squats we do. We'll never be able to jump 40 inches and alter our body like that. We got to get it fundamentally. We got to get it with skill, but those dudes blend it with skill and just sheer power. There's no nights off, and that's draining. And that's why, you know, we're pouring champagne on each other at the end of the season because you know how hard it is to get there. It's such a grind.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You guys have figured it out.
So, Steph, you and I, we ain't in this.
It's all good. We're just going ahead.
It's like, so, you know, these two great defenders, right? You know, because you both get like the toughest assignments every single night, right? And you know, so coming to the arena, coming to the game, like what's your mindset?
Man, whoever's in front of me, I'm just gonna make it incredibly difficult on them to score, whether it's a big man or point guard. You know, I take pride in guarding whoever. I just have fun, you know, especially on the block. You know, big man, I always get we switch a lot in our defense, so I'll get a big man on me who thinks they can put me under the rim, but that's never the case. You know, I'm holding my ground. I just try to make it tough on them, make them shoot over me. Because at the end of the day, I do have like a 6'10" wingspan, so I can just be big down there. And same with point guards too, you know, especially back early in my career, they think they can get around me quick, but I thought I moved my feet pretty well, so you're gonna have to, you know, get some space from me and get a shot off me. Kyrie, I always think about the times we had going against him in Cleveland. He figured something. He actually reminds me a lot of your game.
Oh, he's tricky. He's tricky with that ball.
He's tricky.
Yeah, he can go. He's slippery too. He can go either way, finish either hand. So I have fun guarding him for many series, and it's just.
What do you mean you have fun guarding him?
Because it's like a
Yeah,
challenge.
see, this is something Steph and I can't understand, like how y'all think, like, oh, I have fun guarding him. Me and Steph, like, no, we don't want to guard him.
When you look at the scouting report, you see who your matchup is, and some nights you be like, oh, I got a night off. But then when you see him, you're like, oh, no, I don't got to get my rest tonight, so I got to be ready for this. I think Joe would think the same thing. You know, just some guys, you know, okay, I can relax a little more tonight, but you're like, nah, not with him.
With me, you know, when you were talking about Jordan earlier, and some nights he'd have 38. With truly great players, if you're a great defender, you don't really worry about what their point total is at the end of the night. If he got 35 and he was 11 for 30, I had a good night defensively. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if he was 16 for 19 from the field, I got torched.
Yeah.
So I always look at field goal percentage versus field goals made to determine, did I play good defense tonight or not? Because a guy can have 40, man, but if he shot 38 times and he's 11 for 38, you did a good job.
Oh, yeah.
You know, guy shot 40 times.
Yeah.
The toughest guys for me, Clay,
But
was
how do y'all stay that discipline, though? To not want to look at that scoreboard and say, that guy got 38, I got to work a little harder, I got to do something. I mean, how do y'all stay that discipline in terms
because
of
you know
technique?
you've made him miss 4 shots in a row, and he hit that 5th one, and now he has 28, and I'm thinking.
But that 5th one, everybody going crazy, you know, and really, and you and I never talked about this, but like, how do you, it's like, Jordan would dunk, and he would dunk it so hard, and sometimes I would look at you and be like, "You all right?" You know, but you would just still be like locked in.
I vowed to myself, no matter how spectacular he was, I was never gonna show any emotion.
Yeah.
Zero. I'm not dapping you up with my, oh my God, no, none of that. So I'm gonna stay right here. But in my mind, I was saying, damn, did you see that? In my mind, I was saying that. But my face was like, nah.
He's got that too. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Nah,
there's no, you don't see the feet of he knows he gonna get on the other end too.
But
So.
Steph, we've been sitting here, and the one time that he picked up here just now is when you start talking about defense. He said, "Yeah, big guys trying to get me on the block." None of that. Little guys, I can see, and that's what great defense is.
Yeah.
The fact that his pride was, nah, not here.
Right.
Not here. And so that's what I always tell people. I don't know how to tell you how to slide and move your, but if you got whatever he just showed right there, that's what, for me, it was the small guys. Mark Price, Kevin Johnson. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Those little dudes just so, tricky, slick. Like for you, it's Kyrie, right? So he's,
Isaiah Thomas.
that's what I'm saying. These little guys, man, your size, they're just, well, not your size, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Do y'all ever like be in the game and y'all like, look at each other like, damn, that was a sweet move. Like we was playing Portland, and I remember Clyde Drexler, I was under the basket. He was coming down on the fast break, and I'm backpedaling. So I'm gonna stop and take the charge, right? Remember this? And so I stopped to take the charge, and this dude jumped, and then he tucked his legs up. Boom! And so I'm taking it out of bounds, and I said, Joe, did he do that? Remember? I said, did he just jump over my head? Do y'all have like little conversations like that in the game?
On the bench,
Where
we definitely do.
Yeah.
On the bench, all best. We support each other, encourage each other. Again, you're not gonna please everybody. It's gonna be a situation where something you say might come under scrutiny, might come under fire, but you're gonna help a lot more people than you hurt. And I think that's something that we all respect for sure. You could do a whole show on how the good that all the guys in the league right now are doing.
And we're going to
help.
That's one of my missions is to do a whole show on the good that all of you do. Because the collective impact, and I've studied it, when you really put it on paper in terms of everything that y'all doing in your different little pockets here, when you put it together collectively, it's like,
oh, that's impressive.
It's more than impressive. It may be, from a generational standpoint, the most any league players collectively have done, with their platforms. We've had a lot of great moments together, and I'll ask you to, what is your greatest combined moment that, comes to mind right away as you see it here?
I'm gonna cheat. I got two answers that I'm gonna go before we put you on the spot. I mean, obviously winning 3 championships is something it's a collective moment, but it's something that we want to continue to add to. We're still in the fight in the middle of it, but when it's all said and done, that's the part that, again, you'll cherish the most, and how you went about doing it and experiences you had. On a less serious note, the fact that he has 14 threes in a game and I have 13, we got 1 and 2 in that record.
For the record, good! There it is. Everyone's aware of it. No man has made 13 threes in a game.
That's crazy to think about. 2 teammates, who love to shoot the basketball, do it at a high level.
For NBA history, you got it! 14 threes in a game!
It's crazy. So to be there, obviously, when I did the first time to witness when he did it, and he broke my record, and now it's 14. It's crazy where basketball is now, but in terms of us trying to be pioneers in that front, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
One of my favorite moments is probably the back-to-back three-point contest we did.
That was good too.
He smacked me the first year. I came back with vengeance the second year. Took the trophy back. That was just fun because I don't know when the last time that happened in history, the All-Star Game festivities, to have two teammates compete in the championship. So that was a really unique situation. And it's the first time we really got to compete against each other on a national stage. That's never happened. I don't know if it'll happen again, but that was just a fun weekend. It was just cool seeing us both out there, same team, you know, just out there knocking down threes. Obviously, the 3 championships are amazing in itself, and the records Steph was talking about. And another record is crazy is we both share the same record for most threes in a playoff run. I think it's 98. So whoever wants to get 99 from these runs, we'll see. But that's just very unique in itself. And I think Jim Barnett once said a few years ago that we'll own every 3-point record in the books when it's all said and done. And that's pretty cool hearing from a guy who's been around the NBA for, shoot, how long has Jim been doing it? Yeah, since forever, since the 60s, 70s. So.
Well, I got one 3-point record Ryan broke.
Really?
What's that?
The highest 3-point field goal percentage in the championship series.
That's pretty good.
That's real
That's
good.
good. Was it like
What'd you
670s?
That was against Portland.
What'd you shoot?
I don't know.
Probably over 50 something.
Yeah.
No, it was in the 60s.
Yeah.
It might have been 70s.
How many did you take? Like 8?
No.
Just slightly shaded, my man, like that.
Actually,
6 for 8.
I think I had 18 or 19 in the Portland series.
That's really good. That's really
But go
good.
check it out.
Basketball.
But y'all break it, I'm sure.
I don't know. That's tough.
What's y'all's
70,
answer
60%?
on that?
I would say, for me, I think, I don't know if anybody's ever done it, but I think we're the only backcourt, maybe, back-to-back MVPs of the finals.
Oh,
That's
Haven't
true.
done that.
yeah.
That's
Me either, man. It's all good.
That's a good one.
I don't know if any other backcourt has done that. I thought that was pretty cool,
Yeah.
in championships and have a backcourt go.
That's big
MVPs
time.
of the finals.
Yeah, that's big time.
I've had 2 moments with Joe that that are, they're kind of high and low at the same time. And I hope this don't, upset you, but I think you know where I'm going. When we were in the finals, and your dad had passed away, and Joe's coming down the middle of the lane, and he shoots a ball, and literally it goes to the ceiling. I mean, it goes to the and we always look at each other, and he looks at me, and he goes.
1 second on the shot clock. Dumars arcing shot makes it. Boy, those are killers.
And I'm thinking in my mind, Pops was helping you on that one.
absolutely.
That's one of the moments that always come to mind when we, when I think. And the other thing, believe it or not, was watching you in the NBA Finals win that MVP against the Lakers, and how happy I was for you because you were shining. I mean, I was really happy for you seeing that and watching you, just get off like that.
Right.
And then seeing you run off the course saying, I'm going to Disney World. So those are, when I think of, 2 moments that we shared together, me seeing you at your zenith, and those were my moments for you.
Okay, all right.
So there are many people who can come through the NBA and leave their mark and say, you changed the game. And I think as a backcourt, as a small backcourt, we can honestly say we changed the game. And I think what you guys are doing, I'm seeing little kids practicing shooting from half court and hash mark. I mean, the impact that you guys have had on the game has
Incredible.
been, magnificent.
Yeah,
So,
it's great.
that's one thing that you'll always have.
Absolutely.
So thank you
Absolutely.
for taking the time.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
That Finals MVP thing might be in safekeeping for me. A lot of competition.